I guess there's been very few industries that have been changed, attacked, disrupted, or whatever by artificial intelligence like mine. We have a $600 billion business, and it is all changing at warp speed. Over half of digital media placements now are being made by machines already, and that's going to grow to 70%, 80% in the next 12, 18 months. The future is here. Traditional marketing automation systems, direct marketing or whatever we called it, that has success rates of about 1 or 2%. Once you go automated, you're at 20%. It is staggering. I'm not particularly interested by it, frankly. It's we have loads of people very interested in that, and we have lots of data scientists and mathematicians all looking at this kind of thing. I think it's just because I'm close to the speaker, is it? Okay, hold on one sec. So I'm now going to try and do this fully closed. For any of you who have not much to eat at lunchtime, now any weak stomachs, the same thing applies. This is emotion meets technology. The thing that...
No machine could do this. This is...
This actually is my best style. Terrible thing. The thing that I'm fascinated about, and why I was very excited to come and listen to all this, was that I think Edward de Bono, you remember Edward, right? Good old Edward, said to me years and years ago, Kevin, there is no point being brilliant at the wrong thing. And I think knowledge is the wrong thing, okay, just to be clear, right? So, I mean, I think information is important and knowledge is important, all that kind of stuff. For me, it's become a table stake. It's become foundational, okay? If you surround yourself with Muppets who aren't very smart, you're not going to last very long. So let's everybody get the right information and understand how to use machines, etc., and do it rather quickly. But before all that, what is going to enable success, enable you to beat Big Blue and beat Watson and all these kind of people who only think of 200 million solutions? They don't even see the future. They're just giving us solutions. We live in the age of the idea. Ideas are the currency of our future. It is ideas that we should all be focusing on. We need to be creating a culture where ideas are streaming forth, and culture will eat strategy and knowledge for breakfast. Okay? Only ideas have unreasonable power. The unreasonable power of creativity, the unmeasurable power of Da Vinci, of walking around Vienna, of environments like these. This is where I think the future is going to happen. Technology, for me, is an enabler. It is not a revelation. There's been technology changes throughout the course of history, of course, and they've accelerated every 10 years, every 20 years, every 30 years, and that will continue. Thank goodness for that. Fantastic. And mankind has harnessed those, unleashed those, worked with those, and is fueled by one massive thing, and that is emotion. Emotion. Donald Kahn will tell you, neurologists and so on, the difference between rational thinking or rational process and emotional thinking is very simple. Rational thinking leads to conclusions, solutions, after a lot of meetings, and more meetings, then discussions with finance, and discussions with the lawyers. And then you call in McKinsey and it starts to get expensive. And the conclusions come. Millions of them. Nothing gets done. Lots of very expensive conclusions. Emotional thinking, on the other hand, leads to something very different, right? It leads to action. Action. And you are all in the action business. Our job is not to continue to get things done. I've been to Switzerland, okay? I've been to Switzerland. I know what that's like. 500 years of getting things done, and they've still got cuckoo clocks and chocolate. Thank God for Roger Federer, is all I can say. So anyway, but life goes on, and they get things done. It's all very nice. The core for us is not to get things done, but to make things happen. To make things happen. To go on the attack. To play the gap. To see things that logic and rational and conclusions will never see. That processes will never deliver. To see what is surprisingly obvious. Okay, the world's biggest taxi company, Uber, doesn't own a single car. The world's second biggest hotelier, Airbnb, doesn't own a single hotel room. The world's biggest retailer, Amazon, has one store. We have to be able to see those things and action them, because it is emotion that makes things happen. So you're probably familiar with this idea. It's been written about at great length. West Point teach courses on it. I was called up to the Pentagon a few months ago. I thought I was in danger of getting slapped or something for getting undressed in public. And the geniuses in U.S. military command explained to me we lived in a VUCA world, a world that's volatile, a world that's uncertain, a world that's complex, and a world that is ambiguous. I said, obviously, this is a revelation to you guys. Italy and Argentina have been living like this for 200 years. But I guess in Minneapolis, it's new news. And I said, and in fact, for those of us that have passports and have to travel in the rest of the world, we've already reframed this VUCA world, because in this, what I think actually is a post-automated world, actually, we're going to move into a post-automated world. We're going to flash through all this artificial intelligence and come into a world where the only thing that differentiates is emotional content, is emotional contribution. Because quality service, process, all that stuff will be so embedded it just won't matter anymore. Algorithms can read the lines, but actually they can't see sort of between them. So I've said that all this has been reframed now into super VUCA. I mean, I'm in advertising, right? Clearly, I'm in advertising. And everything in advertising is super. You have super size, super model, super whatever, right? I don't know. Anyway, and I said, listen, the world that we look at as humans is a world that is vibrant, full of life, full of the optimism that Tammy talked about. I am a radical optimist, as Colin Powell said. Perpetual optimism is a force multiplier, and he was right. Okay, so we live in a world vibrant. Millennials are not scared. They have no fear. They're not concerned about all this AI, IA, all that stuff. Man, they love it. This is life. This is good. They're going to connect. They're going to collaborate. What am I worried about, man? Life's good. It's a world that is unreal. In the past, you used to have power, resource, scale, technology, might, developed world to win, to change the world. Now you just need an idea. Just an idea will change the world. You have a look what could happen to Putin at any moment. You have a look, actually, in the UK or the US, we're not showing much evidence of this politically, but if there was an idea Bush versus Clinton doesn't seem like an idea, and neither does Trump, and Corbyn can't possibly be viewed as an idea. But say there was an idea in all this, it would be unreal how fast we could change this. This is a world where crazies will find a role. It's good news for many of you. Not so Germans, of course, not so Germans. But it's good news. You saw Bayern Munich last night, man. I mean, they played like crazy people. It was sensational. Wenger's still trying to figure out what comes after 5. Yeah. 6! Anyway. So you need crazy people in this world because we are submerged with data. We're drowning in the stuff. Data. Again, Colin Powell said, never let the facts get in the way of a good decision. Right? And I never do. Okay? So it's crazy because only crazy people will be able to fight the forces of darkness, the abominable no man. And it's a world that is astounding, right? People think with their hearts. They make the big decisions with their hearts and the little ones with their heads, okay? 80% of important decisions are made based on emotion, based on feeling. You don't marry someone you trust and like and fits in all the pros and cons and all the BCG boxes. You marry somebody who drives you crazy, baby. Who you love, you know? You don't marry for respect. You marry for respect and love. You don't fall in like with a brand, a cause, or a moment. Nobody builds brands anymore. We all try to create a movement that we all care about. Here's an example of a movement. And I've only just realized, Richard, I saw you in there. So the only way, brands and businesses create loyalty for a reason, right? For a benefit, for a product, for an attribute. What emotion does is create loyalty beyond reason, beyond price, beyond benefit, beyond technology. We want to create loyalty for a cause, for a nation, for a belief, for a charity, for a company, for a way of life. You do that emotionally. I have one algorithm that I follow. It's the only equation I've ever written in my entire life. Okay? IQ plus EQ plus TQ plus BQ, all powered by CQ. Okay, everybody got that? So to win in this VUCA world, in a super VUCA way, companies that are going to win whatever business you're in are those companies that do something about knowledge, that have high intellectual quotient. There is nowhere to hide now. We've got to have the knowledge. We've got to get it at the right speed. We've got to use whatever we can to have it. Then we've got to have the intelligence to apply it. It is going to be very difficult to win today if you hire Muppets. Okay, so we need high IQ. Vitally important to us to beat off the opposition is EQ, our emotional quotient. Do we have people that can feel the world? It is not what consumers say or do that matters. It doesn't matter what they say or do. They don't know. It's how they feel that matters. And understanding how they feel is a gift. Steve Jobs had it, Tim Cook doesn't. Okay, so you have to have EQ. TQ, the whole technology quotient. You cannot bury your head in the sand. You cannot ignore this. You cannot be a slave to technology. You cannot expect technology to do all the work and to make the right calls for you. You must be the master of technology, personally and professionally. But man, you better be adept at using it fast. Intelligence quotient, emotional quotient, technology quotient, and BQ, bloody quick. It's all over, right? Time is gone. All powered by the one great thing, the creativity quotient, the unreasonable power of creativity. We must, above all, inspire creativity in everything we touch and everything we employ. And that is quite a challenge. I come from New Zealand, not the US. You may have gathered from my accent. And in New Zealand, we have a particular way of dealing with challenge, and this is how we do that.
Yes, a new haka for the All Blacks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. With a welcome like that, what can I say? Why don't you?
Yeah, I think I would have shown a video of the Danish national football team, but we haven't really won a match since '94. So a little bit tricky. And the baby video is beautiful, but I felt that one of the babies looked a little bit like you, Kevin.